Thank you. Thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to perhaps share with you some rudimentary ideas, I must say, on a subject which is of common interest to all of us. It's a very interesting title, again, FinNode. The node in scientific terms talks about a kind of an entity which can connect everything. And it's a title which is challenging by itself. That itself is an innovation, I must say. It talks about the sustainable, scalable, affordable, and inclusive. And the word innovation. This is like the democratic socialism. Because the word innovation, by its very character, demands that you are the first to arrive. The first application of a concept is what the innovation is all about in the first place. And the people who arrive in a particular place for the first time would like to retain that advantage for some time. So the intellectual property right and manners in which an innovation is protected focuses on the ability or the legal protection systems for the innovator to benefit from the innovative experience they have gone through. So in that sense, most of the innovation systems that are developed in the world, which have reached the marketplace, are competition driven. Once they are competition driven, the word inclusive doesn't fit in. Because you like to keep yourself separated from the system. And in a very competitive environment, and especially when you want to have your first position market advantage, not only that you want to position yourself first, but you also have to ensure that distance yourself from the rest so that you can gain economically in market terms. So that's one challenge that you have when you use the word inclusive innovation. And then you go back and ask the question, it should be sustainable. The sustainability demands that you optimize the input and the output all the time. Most of the innovation systems in the world have focused on maximization of the benefit to the innovator. Because you are in a position to reach the marketplace first, you can price the product differently if you can create a market for the product. And pricing is a policy. It is not that it is a cost. Cost is a cost reality, and price is an addition of intangibility to that reality. Now, sustainability of an innovation system would demand that you take only as much resources from nature as is necessary, and you return as much as possible to the nature from the things that you do not use. So the sustainability is related to the ability of the innovation system to remain within the renewing capacity of nature. So the sustainability comes in that direction. When we talk about the affordability, that is once again related to the price parity advantage or the disadvantages and the kind of purchasing power that the society considers appropriate. So what is affordable for one may not be affordable for another. So the affordability by its terminology is once again relative to the price parity advantages and disadvantages that come in the process. And of course, this question of scalability is very crucial because most of these innovations are very successful in a particular scale. Then you try to expand it beyond the absorption capacity of the market, beyond the purchase power parity of the market space you want to sustain. And if you are exceeding the sustainability index of that innovative system, then it's not scalable. That's an aspect of it. Why? So these four verticals that I see here, sustainable, scalable, affordable, inclusive innovation, is truly an aspect for debate rather than conclusion, I can say. The debate will prevail and will sustain for a while, and they have different viewpoints on this matter. But I like to try and see as to how this Finland-India collaboration or a cooperation might perhaps address this challenging task of bringing sustainability, scalability, affordability and inclusiveness into this innovation agenda of two countries which are actually in different phases of development on their own. There's a certain disparity by itself. Let me talk about the differences first between Finland and India, and then come back and see how do we benefit from this process. Some time ago, I was asked to release a book which said Unleashing India's Innovation. So somebody wrote the book and I had to release it. I said, if there is an unleashing, there must be a leash. So what is that leash that keeps the innovation dog of this country not run around in free space? I said it has a 3-ply rope. The leash here, 3-ply rope. One ply is a culture of this society which said, "Thou shalt not make money out of knowledge." That is the first dictum on the 11 commandments, I may say. It says, "You shall not make money out of knowledge." And that to make it more metaphorical, they made the goddess of education and knowledge, Saraswati, and the goddess for richness, Lakshmi, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. So there will be a constant fight all the time. Now, given that profile, here is a society which has inherited this system for many centuries, and suddenly you are telling you have to innovate, and that innovation should connect knowledge with wealth creation. You are trying to convert a left-hander into a right-hander overnight, and that is one leash. The second is a huge asymmetry that prevails in this country between the development and absorption, between the inventor and the investor. So there is a cultural dichotomy that exists among the main players of innovation. And that's an asymmetry. That's another plight. And the third is a pluralism. While in a country like Finland with about 5 million plus population, with a relatively similar living standards among the citizens, you can look at a homogeneous policy which will drive the innovation ecosystem. Here is a country with a huge divides in the income-based levels and the access to wealth, access to market, access to technology, access to any man-made structure, infrastructure, and so on. And government cannot afford not to look at this process. So you need to look at the pluralism demands. So whenever India talks about the 11th, 12th plan target, it talks about faster, sustainable, and inclusive innovation. Faster talks about speed. And the speed, what a large society cannot move at the same velocity, same speed. Especially when they are differentially positioned. And then inclusiveness and sustainability. Therefore, this pluralism is another reason as to why this faster and inclusiveness agenda is an opposite end. One is about differentiation, other is about integration, and how do you build that place. So we have that challenge as far as India is concerned. some portions of India, probably assembled in this hall, is global citizens, and there's no problem. They can move at the same velocity, they can move with the similar kinds of profiles as Finland might, but that may not be a moral growth as far as the nation is concerned. There's a certain amount of morality as well. So that's the challenge that we are faced with. Now, given that paradigm, if you look at Finland on the other side, as let me say an outsider perspective to a Finland innovation system from someone who has probably limited knowledge of English and no knowledge of Finnish, I would like to make a statement which may be totally wrong, but you give me the microphone to speak to. So, Finland has the advantage of highly creative ecosystem to drive this innovation agenda very fast forward. Sure. But majority of the innovation that they have to create is not for domestic consumption. Most of it is for global consumption because the market size is by its own restrictions. People can use it only up to a certain level. So therefore, the innovation agenda that Finland must possibly use is address the world's requirements, and therefore they won't mind using English as well. That is, whichever language is appropriate, they will, I'm sure, use. The speed with which that innovation ecosystem can be developed in a smaller environment, more homogeneous environment, is a great advantage for Finland. Therefore, they have focused on the process of innovation exceedingly well. And among the Committee of Nations, if you want to talk about the open classroom for the rest of the world to learn, rest of the nations to learn, Finland comes in the top 3-4 in the innovation system. You can learn from them, and India certainly has a bit to learn from Finland in this arena. There are different countries with different wisdom. For example, a place like Taiwan, I will look at it for marketing as an innovation system, while Finland, I look at technology as an innovation system. So the innovation is not just about one nation, it's a measure of many issues. Now, given the fact that you have two, let me say, contrasting and different innovation subsystems come together, one has a leash and the other doesn't know what is a leash. They come together, so we have a choice. The India can put the leash on the innovation system of Finland. I'm sure Finland won't like it. So now the question is, how do I use the Finland experience to perhaps unleash this great potential system that prevails in a larger environment? And how would it benefit both countries and maybe work for the global good? That's an issue. I'll make it a few minutes and finish this process. I believe for innovation, you require talent base. You require people who do not know what cannot be done. That's a very fundamental requirement. Innovation demands that the persons who don't know what cannot be done. People at my age, depend on experience, only know what cannot be done. We don't know what can be done. But the younger people of this society who have not faced that aspirational deficit that my generation faced in this country, the talent base is a global talent base, because we have the 54% of the global population of this country under 35, and 2025 we'll have 1/3 of the global population under 30 in this country. So that's the talent base and a vast talent base population. And I believe the whole world is going to tap into it. And I think Finland being a very innovative country, first to arrive, it now wants to tap into that space quite well. It's very immediate environment, that's very possible. The second is, if you can market a product in India, you can market anywhere in the world, maybe even outside the earth. Therefore, this is the most demanding market, huge demand market. That requires innovation. And that is already inbuilt into it is an inclusiveness. Because if you bring the price purchase parity in Indian context, then you have opened up the global market space. And that I believe is very valuable. Indian innovation system has multi-purpose goal. So the purpose of innovation is a very important component of Indian innovation system. Global innovation system is focused on the process of innovation. A process in which the final market advantage is positioned, that's what's gained, and the investment is not optimized. It is sometimes output is maximized, input is not optimized. India is a fantastic country for optimization of inputs. Our housewives will never throw away cardboard box from which they got the televisions. We recycle everything. So the optimization is a cultural entity. So the optimization capacity of this innovation system, the maximization efficiency on the Finland innovation system is a good handshake that can bring them together. India is a country of ideas. We have a large number of innovations. When this Harkesh Mittal goes back and gives what they call the power of ideas, so the ideas actually flow in such a power that Harkesh Mittal feet is worked off. But the question here is, how do I convert those ideas into products and processes and services that will eventually produce a value for the user as well as the inventor? That's the challenge, and that would mean scalability of a successful idea is an important issue on which we can learn quite a bit. Therefore, I recognize I've spoken longer than for 15 minutes. I should have prepared my PowerPoint and maybe resigned in 15 minutes. And I will like to share 3 paradigms which are important, which are relevant. And before this, the kind of cultural symmetries that exist between Europe in general, Finland in particular, and India, is both countries are based, economy and the model process are based on SMEs, small medium enterprises. And small medium enterprises provide you an economy of scope, while the rest of the world is an economy of scale. And innovation is all about doing the right sizing of risk and implementation. And therefore, SME focus in the innovation subsystem is a natural selection that has happened between the two countries in this area. Given that profile, I think the message that we wish to leave with you is the scale, the scope, and the speed. And there are 3 issues. How do I scale the innovation systems by a handshake which provide value, global good for everybody? And how do I scope that particular innovation system? In which area, which scale, which market space, and probably which price parity package, and the sustainability indices in an effective form by combining this optimization, maximization concept, and finally provide speed. So I'm going to request my colleague, who is going to speak after me to represent Finland, please unleash the Indian innovation system. Thank you very much.